How y'all doing, guys? Chaos Lord David here. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Now, I've been a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Guy ever since it first came out. I played the Forbidden Memories game, the Eternal Duelist Soul, and then later the Tag Force games, which were amazing games, but Forbidden Memories is definitely a very frustrating game. And I bet anybody who's played that game can agree with me on that. But of course, the other games, the Eternal Duelist Soul and the Tag Force games, weren't really as frustrating, of course, but they were still great nonetheless. Just phenomenal. And now we've got this game, which is said that the campaign is supposed to show the more historical duels throughout the entire anime franchise. So we're going to be reliving these duels, as if it were to be put. It just reminds me of as if I was watching a episode of Dogfights in the History Channel. It would show a scenario. Each episode would show a scenario like if it was in World War II or the Korean War or something like that. But just take that intro and apply it to here. Experience the battle. Dissect the tactics. Relive the duels of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime franchise. I mean, it's just something like that. I guess if you were to put it like in more in depth, I guess you could say something like a card game that became a global phenomenon within a matter of a few days, or something like that. I'm just gonna have to keep riffing on that, but that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably use that as like a special intro or something. Let's look at the options before we dive into it. Looks like it's all good. And the controls, I know exactly how this game plays. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! The basic rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! Plays. So let's dive right in. DLC, I'll get to that later. Duelist challenges, I bet that's later throughout the campaign. Let's dive right in. And as you can see here, we've got the entire anime franchise here. So we got the very first Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. Now, the seasons I'm most familiar with are Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I am definitely not familiar with Zexal and Arc V, because after 5Ds, I kind of went on a bit of a hiatus. So I may need to do a bit of catching up in the entire franchise, but I'm still going to go through these seasons, so I can just go and just be spoiled by them. But Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and 5Ds, I am aware of how the arcs go and whatnot, and what the characters are and all that good stuff. So let's start in chronological order, starting with the very first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! So our first duel is the Duelist Kingdom. So we can play as a normal duel, but we'll just go with the X option. Infinite. INFN8. I guess we'll call him Nate. Loading Yu-Gi-Oh! Histories. The story of Yugi Muto begins at Domino High School, where Duel Monsters, the hottest card game in the world, was all the rage. Yugi was the best duelist around, and his friend Joey wanted desperately to learn how to duel as well. So our history of Yugi Muto starts with Yugi teaching the rules of Duel Monsters to Joey as their friends Taya and Tristan watch. Hey Joey, to Joey, it's your turn. I'm a bit of a shame that there's no acting in this dialogue, but oh well. I think that would have been a bit better though. Aw, isn't he cute when he's thinking? Hey Tristan, Yugi is teaching me how to play Duel Monsters. Drooling monsters? Duel Monsters, you Nimrod! I loved Joey's voice back then. It was just too silly. They've been at it for hours. Joey's starting to get the hang of the game, but Yugi's like an expert. Okay, Yugi, it's time to duel. So here comes our very first duel. Yugi Muto versus Joey Wheeler. I probably won't read all the dialogue every single duel, but it's okay, really. I just think it would be a lot better if they actually had acting or voices in these dialogue. But oh well. Wow, what a stirring intro. INFN Nate sure can spin a tail. Greetings, Duelist. I am IN4M8. Mate. Part of the virtual game simulator. I have been programmed to teach you proper dueling rules and best practices. So let's get started and walk you through the basics. In this scenario, you will be taking on the role of the legendary Yugi Muto, facing off against the not quite as legendary Joey Wheeler. That's a bit of a burn on Joey. Hey, is something burning? Oh wait, it's Joey because he just got burned. And his background is red, so that makes perfect sense. First, let's learn how to summon a monster. Monsters are summoned into the monster zone. Monsters can be summoned in attack position or set to the monster zone in defense position. A monster in attack position is placed vertically and a monster in defense position is placed horizontally and face down. Let's set a monster. Select the dragon dwelling in the cave and set it to the field in defensive position. So now we select the dragon dwelling in the cave from our hand. Select set from the menu. Now our card's in defensive mode face down. Now let's open the phase menu and select end phase. So we gotta press circle to open the phase menu. And the very last one is end phase. And now it's Joey's turn. Let's see what he's gonna do here. And he summons a Blazing Impachi. And he's gonna attack. Yep. He's gonna lose life points because my defensive points were higher than his Impachi's attack points. So he loses life points in the difference. Congratulations, you survived your first attack. You might have noticed that Joey attacked you and wound up hurting himself. Let me explain what happened. When a monster attacks a defense position monster, the attacker's attack value is compared to the defender's defense value. If the attacking monster has a lower value, the attacker's owner takes damage equal to the difference. If the attacking monster has a greater value, the defending monster is destroyed. And whenever that happens, you don't lose life points. If his attack points were higher than my defense points, I wouldn't lose life points. Unless if there was a equip card or a certain effect that actually deals damage due to the difference after destroying a monster in defense mode, but normally you don't lose any life points. Next we will play a spell card and trap card. These cards are played in the spell and trap zone. Green spell cards can be played right away, but most can only be played on your main phase, either 1 or 2. You can also set it and activate it at a later time. So we select the Banner of Courage card. We gotta activate the effect, which is all monsters you control gain 200 attack points during your battle phase only. Now pink trap cards can be activated on your turn and during your opponent's turn, but you must set them face down on the field first. You cannot activate a trap card in the same turn that you set it, but you can activate it any time after the start of the opponent's turn. So let's set your trap card, Call of the Haunted. And this card brings back a monster from our graveyard. But we don't have any monsters in our graveyard, so it's no use as of right now, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and set it down. So that way, just in case if that were to happen. Now let's get ready to attack. Let's switch the dragon dwelling in the cave to attack position. So we switch it to attack position. Now let's summon Ninken Dog in attack position, so you have another monster out that can attack Joey. And here's Ninken Dog. And due to Banner of Courage, okay, our attack is all set up. Let's switch the battle phase and attack. So now, due to the Banner of Courage, whenever we go into battle phase, our attack points will increase. So as you can see, Ninken Dog's attack is 2,000. So we attack Blazing Impachi with Ninken Dog. Down goes the Impachi. If an opponent does not have any monsters, your monsters can attack your opponent's life points directly. Let's do this. Attack Joey directly now with the dragon dwelling in the cave. So, direct attack on Joey. There you go. Now let's end your turn. Once again, end phase. Joey's turn again. Let's see what he's going to do this time. He just sets a monster down in defense mode. And it's our turn again. Joey doesn't stand a chance. Let's clean his clock. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a big time move right here. On this turn, we will summon another monster. Up until now, you have only used monsters level 4 or below. In order to summon a monster that is level 5 or 6, you must tribute one monster. Sending a monster on your side of the field to the graveyard to summon a high-level monster is called a tribute summon. And we do have a level 6 monster. And speaking of this, this is the very first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where the sacrifice rule wasn't even applied yet. And there were just some rules that just didn't make sense. They were just there to probably just make the main characters win their duels like Yugi would win his duels. Like, I know in one episode where he challenged Weevil Underwood to a duel, and he used the Makyu the Magical Mist card on Weevil's Great Moth, and it started losing attack points because he keeps getting drenched by a Makyu card. And Summons Gold wound up having enough attack points. And that's not really Makyu's real effect. And it's just like, what the heck? And there's also another example. When Yugi challenged the very dark side of Seto Kaiba, where they both had a Blue Eyes White Dragon out on the field, Yugi used his Mystical Elf to increase the attack power of his Blue Eyes White Dragon that he brought back from the graveyard with Monster Reborn. That's not an actual effect for Mystical Elf. I bet that's just there just that way they can win their duels and whatnot. That doesn't make sense. I mean, just looking back at it now. And another thing, I guess, in this game, we play as the winners of these duels. So in this case, we play as Yugi. Sending a monster on your side of the field to the graveyard to summon a high-level monster is called a Tribute Summon. Let's Tribute Summon Grab a Crushed Dragon now. So we select Grab a Crushed Dragon. We select Summon. As you can see, you must tribute one monster to Tribute Summon this monster. Let's choose Ninken Dog as your tribute. Okay, so we select Yes, and select Ninken Dog. Now he's going to go to our graveyard, and in place of Grab a Crushed Dragon. Ooh, if you read the card description on the left there, excuse me, you can see your Grab a Crushed Dragon as an effect you can trigger. Let's do that now. Okay, so its effect is you can send one face-up continuous spell card you control to the graveyard. Then target one monster your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Oh, and also another thing. The cards with the effects on them that weren't even applied to the very first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Until the Battle City arc. Same goes for the sacrifice rule. So they can basically summon any card they want. And there are some special abilities, but just not as much. But anyway, now we can activate Grab a Crushed Dragon's effect. Let's use Grab a Crushed Dragon's effect and send Banner of Courage to the graveyard to destroy Joey's face down card. And Banner of Courage is our continuous spell card that we have to get rid of. Select Banner of Courage and target Joey's face down card. Now let's chain the effect of Call of the Haunted to bring back Ninken Dog from the graveyard. So we select Yes. We activate Call of the Haunted. And now we can bring back our Ninken Dog from the graveyard. Now let's chain Rush Recklessly's effect. Rush Recklessly is in your hand, but can be activated immediately because it is a spell card. So we select Yes, and Rush Recklessly is a pretty good card to boost your attack power. Target one face-up monster on the field. It gains 700 attack until the end of this turn. I guess it probably really doesn't matter. I'm probably going to go ahead and do it to Grab a Crushed Dragon. Okay, so first Rush Recklessly happens, then Call the Haunted to bring back Ninken Dog. Now we are ready to attack. It says activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. So basically, Call of the Haunted is basically like an equipped card to Ninken Dog since we brought that card from the graveyard with it. So now we go into the battle phase. And now, I guess you can say that Joey is in the danger zone! So, let's start with Grab a Crushed Dragon. And it looks like he's not going to be able to survive this whole attack. So add up 1800 plus 1300, that's 3100. Joey isn't going to be too happy about this. One more attack and we'll totally wipe him out. Just enough. And there's our first duel in the books. What? A card that powerful totally wipes me out. Whoa, you stink at this game, Joey. You did fine, Joey. I just have better cards. My grandpa owns a game shop, and I get all my best cards from him. Your own game shop? What are we waiting for? Let's go! Okay, maybe I can even get my grandpa to show us this super rare card he's got. Okay, so Nate again. Little did they know that someone was listening in on their conversation. Someone who was looking for a very rare card to add to his collection. Seto Kaiba. New campaign duel unlocked. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Heart of the Cards. New deck avatar unlocked. Joey Wheeler. New deck recipe unlocked from Joey Wheeler. The Monster Raider. Signature card awarded. Signature card award, the Axe Raider. New card award, 4-star Ladybug of Doom. New card award, Battle Ox. Victory duel points earned, 1,854. So it looks like we get awards on every single duel. I mean, I love Axe Raider, and Battle Ox are good cards too. Duel score, total points, 223. And we can go ahead and, I guess we could put some of these cards into our deck. However, it looks like I'm kind of okay with what cards I've got. Except I think we don't actually use the decks at the, you know, the exact deck on what happens in the anime. We just use it just kind of, you know, relives that memory per se. Okay, so not a bad start. So let's go right back into Yu-Gi-Oh! For a second duel. The Heart of the Cards. Not a bad start.